Hello and welcome back to the Real Estate Unlimited podcast. My name's Sierra Steinmetz.
Brian Schuby.
Carrie Steele.
Bill Jones.
And we're the Jones Home Team.
And this is episode 56. We'll get right into it. We're getting close to Halloween. Carrie, I'm super excited about the topic you got here then, too. I'm going to suggest to Kelly we decorate like this. You'll have to wait to see what that looks like then, too. That's going to be fun. Sierra is diving into return on investment for sellers specifically, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. Because they want as little money or as much money as possible. Probably as much, maybe.
Yeah.
Shub, you are government shutdown. That unfortunately, hopefully by the time you're watching this is not a thing anymore, but it's still a thing at the moment. But how could that affect buyers and sellers? I got a bunch of stuff I've just been trying to catch up here then too. The Compass Anywhere deal. I promised to touch on that. That buy it now kind of feature, that home site that was doing that, and a couple other things, but we'll go to there.
You did have a lot.
I did.
Last week.
Yeah.
We'll have to cut it short.
I know.
So he's got time.
It's fine. Yeah, I had kids? I don't remember what the heck that was, but all right, Sierra, go. What do we got? Return on investment. How do we get it?
Alrighty. So yeah, talking about sellers' return on investment when you're listing your home, when you're selling, kind of what that looks like, when you should do, how much, and when you're going to be over investing. I like how this was put, the ROI reality check, just kind of sitting with, as a seller, especially if you're using an agent, which if you have a good agent, they should sit down with you and suggest any improvements that could be made if it's necessary. And a lot of times, and I don't know how you guys go about this, but I'm big on less is more when it comes to... I
use that line all the time.
Yes.
Less is more. Less is more, for sure.
Like if... Major improvements, maybe if something's going to fail an inspection, then obviously that's probably going to be better to just nip that in the bud and get it taken care of. But people that are like, well, should I replace the carpet? Should I blah, blah, blah? I mean, like, unless the carpet looks like it went through a horror scene, like...
Yeah, you got 10 dogs, a couple
right,
cats.
Yeah. Probably just let it go because they're going to want to change it anyways. Or whoever comes in and buys it is more than likely not going to have the same taste as you unless you have impeccable taste. But everyone's different. So
even then, it's every buyer, their desire is going to be unique for what they're getting into then too. So
yeah, for sure. So when it comes to things like paint, flooring, stuff like that, I mean, if a fresh coat of paint would help freshen up the whole area, or maybe we've talked about it before, the front door, the garage door, stuff like that. Just giving a little refresh on the outside.
A facelift.
If you give it a little facelift, that's already going to help them walk into a house that they're excited about before even coming into it. So I always tell clients to not overextend themselves when it comes to investing more money prior to selling. If there's little things here and there or small stuff that I know is going to come up on like an appraisal, if you have like an FHA or VA buyer, just get it out of the way now, even if it's in between showings or whatever, just let's
But for the love of God, listen to your agent. If they literally say, I'm bringing you here to see what I need done, and Sierra, you tell them like you need to pull the weeds and paint the front door, and you get back there and they didn't pull the weeds and paint the front door, and then they understand.
All right, how many times does that happen?
But literally
almost every time.
Every freaking seller is like, I'm bringing you here to see what I need to do. And the moment you open your mouth, they're like, well, blah, 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 like rebuttal. It's like, you literally ask for my opinion. I'm giving you my opinion. It's going to look better in pictures. You don't have to spend that much money. It's a little bit of your time to get 10 grand back.
Yeah.
They start talking about that. Should we do the bathroom? Should we do the kitchen? No, pull your damn weeds.
Pull your
weeds.
Like
that. And then that's too big of a project.
Clean your front door. Like the little kids' handprints or the black, the black fingerprints all over the cabinets. Like, clean your freaking house, like that alone. And
we mean that in the most loving way.
Listen, my house is
on people.
Those things are exactly what needs done at my house.
For sure.
I pull up and I'm like,
your house now.
I need to pull my weeds. I need to paint my door.
And it's that everyday stuff that you kind of become a little
immune
blind to.
Yes,
because you don't see it. But we as agents walking into your house for the first time are going to notice it, and we're going to know. We work with people every single day that give their feedback on things they didn't like about a house that you wouldn't think, oh, yeah, I need to make sure I take care of that before this goes on the market. You know what I mean?
Because you're walking through almost like a new buyer would then, too.
I still don't know how to tell somebody their house stinks. I mean,
that's tough.
Literally.
That's
especially if they have like animals and stuff. Like they're immune to, again, just how the house smells. But
my sister says a place smells like dogs. What do you think? I'm like, it smells like a dog pound. That's tough.
That's always a tough tough one. But yeah, I don't know. I guess just as a seller, I find a lot of sellers too, they start to worry about the wrong things. It's the things that they maybe didn't like about the house, so they think that it needs changed, but in reality literally no one cares. Like they care more about like the handrail that's like loose that they're gonna point out when they're walking down, and just add that to the list of their little checklist in their head of what's wrong with the house or blah blah blah. So I don't know, I guess my biggest take home is because you can also kind of play into as is as well, like selling as is. And if there are going to be multiple things that maybe don't make sense to fix right now, or it's not in your capability or something like that, we've talked about
that's
it before,
understandable.
price appropriately. Yes. Like just price according to that, and let it be someone else's thing to take care of because they want the home. Like don't overextend yourself, and do as is. Like, I'm going to price it at the absolute top, but not do anything. And that's what a lot of, for me, that's what a lot of my sellers have been doing. And I feel like I'm doing a good job telling them, but still like price it at the top and still not make the changes. It's like, I don't know what to tell them. Something's got to give usually, like unless it's a super desirable area or it's a specific home that it's very much needed, then you usually can get away with more things because buyers aren't going to be as picky choosy. But a lot of the times, just sit down with your agent, listen to what they are giving you feedback wise, and allow them to help you save time on the transaction and probably make more money. So
for sure. So you can absolutely do as is. I wanted to pull that up here quick if I could. He's got me thinking, can we best see that? There we go. So this property we literally just closed on. So you talk about as is, so less is more. So if you can see the screen you're watching there's a lot going on in this house. But look, you can virtually stage it, make it look like there's a whole lot less going on then too. So I think we have a couple more examples. Yeah, there you go. So again, the seller asked, what could you do with that? Well, obviously less is more. What can you guys get out of there? Well, we can at least showcase it, use AI to kind of do that. But I think you're starting with pull your weeds, mow your lawn.
Right.
Like you said, paint you don't have to paint the whole house. You get an estimate for the whole house and you're looking at
but like the front
thousands
porch,
and thousands of dollars. Yeah.
The front concrete's all chipped up and it used to be gray. Just put a new coat of paint on it.
Right.
And you just literally added maybe 10 grand.
Right.
I'm making up a number, but I'm just.
Sure. Same with basements, right? You guys helped with that recently too, right? Didn't you?
Yes. Not last weekend, but the weekend before, we had a VA loan. And we thought, because just thinking back, those Armstrong tiles that have like a textured pattern to them, or not marble, but like just a texture and splatter pattern. We thought that's from our memory. We're like, oh yeah, it had this like gray and white tile downstairs. And they sent us pictures and we're like, I'll be darned. Those are all scratches. And they're like, we want that all scraped, the paint removed, or the excess paint chips removed and repainted. And we're like, oh my God, where are we going to find a painter that we can close this? Because we were up against that government shutdown and we didn't know why.
Yeah.
We didn't know why. We just knew that if we don't close by the 30th, that it was going to be weeks or even months before we could close.
Yeah.
So we're like, well, I told Bobby, I said, what are you doing this weekend? Do you want to paint? And so we just showed up. They ordered pizza. We turned on some music and got to work, and we got it done pretty quick, and it turned out really well.
Going above and beyond.
Yeah, going above and beyond. Well, we learned from the best.
All right, Sierra. So what's the hammer at home then? What? Just
less is more, and just listen to your agent. That's why you're using them. Yeah. We're here to help.
Right. And just to get just how many times does a seller listen to you guys? And you go there, you spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, 50,
I would do this, maybe do that, maybe don't do that, and
like pack
and
your
realize
shit.
we're not trying.
Oh, sorry, I don't know why that did that.
Whoa.
Blow your ears out there.
But like pack your stuff.
Yeah. And realize we're not trying to offend you. We're trying to help.
Right.
You.
No.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Come into any of our houses. I guarantee they're not picture perfect, but we're not realtor ready either.
Yeah.
So like, just take it at face value. You're asking for our help. We're trying to give you our help.
All right. Carrie, let's go right into...
Yeah, don't play that yet.
Okay, all right.
So the topic is, have Halloween decorations gone too far? This time of year, you see viral videos of people sharing really cool Halloween decorations in neighborhoods. Anything from those giant Costco and Sam's Club skeletons to coffins and, artificial displays of, corpses and people hanging from trees. ghosts. It's all cool and well, but at what point does it go too far? And HOAs have some protection against, what you can do there. But if you're in a rural area or if you're on a side street or even a state route, you can do whatever you want. So my question is, have Halloween decorations gone too far? And I was scrolling through Facebook last night, and I saw this image that was initially shocking and startling. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening here? And then I read the title and I'm like, are you serious? So before I show this, I will just say that my Southern Ohio family, aunts, uncles, cousins, dad, grandpa, they all volunteer fire department, EMTs, dive and rescue. And so I take things like this seriously. And maybe I'm just a Karen with my new Karen cut. Sorry if your name's Karen, no offense. But I just feel like at what point, are we going too far with these decorations? So I will, have you cue the clip of what I saw on social media. And if you would play that, please.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my gosh, that does look so realistic.
If there is a play, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you imagine just driving by, like that full on looks like.
I hear screaming.
They almost had to have called the fire department.
So it says our house will be on fire, not real fire, as Halloween decorations every night from 8 to 10 p.m. now through October 31st. Please do not call the fire department. And I'm like, come on.
Is that posted up front there somewhere, or is that? I mean, obviously on this Facebook post, I see it.
At the end of it says, please do not call the fire department again. Like someone already did.
Like, I understand going above and beyond. Like, at Christmas time, you've got Santa sneaking through the upstairs, or, you've got, like, fake break-ins and stuff like that happening, and that's well and all. But you've got people that are, that are not on social media. You've got people that are, maybe working out in the fields and haven't been online.
That's incredible, though. Come on. That's like taking it to the next level.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, at what point has it gone too far? Because you're creating, for me, PTSD for somebody that's trying to get over a past trauma or trying to get, through something insane.
Right.
I was wondering
that's really cool.
That worked.
But
yeah, that looks realistic.
But
that
burning house for Halloween,
how
does that?
I was gonna say the smoke.
But how does that equate
to
Halloween? Like, I don't see any pumpkins. I don't see any
true.
ghosts,
There's nothing
anything
else.
It's just a house on fire.
fire.
Like, and I can see a place where you could get away with this would be like in a very small
there's not
subdivision
even a single
in the country
pumpkin.
where you tell those 5 neighbors like, hey, it's funny. But imagine this house on 224. Imagine this house on Melmore Street in Tiffin, Ohio. Like, all these cars that pass through.
Sorry if this is loud. I'll try not to. No stupid ads here. We'll come back to that. But yeah.
So am I just being a Karen? Am I like a mom that's overthinking it, or is that actually the point where you've gone too far on Christmas or on Halloween decorations?
I do see what you're saying, because then EMS workers and everything are getting called for no reason, and that can kind of be.
That's where my mind went.
Sick.
Are you going into? I forget what the law is called, but it's like inducing fear. Basically, you're inciting panic, like.
Yeah, saying bomb on an airplane,
exactly.
or yelling fire in a crowded movie theater.
And that's not non-intentional. That's intentional. Like they like made their house look like it was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And my heart's like skipping a beat, because around here we had a very sensitive topic, and I think every town has had.
See, would you rather have this though? If you're
yes,
the neighbor?
I would rather have that. I mean, we've got neighbors across the street that use those cool LED flashing lights that are different colors that run around the top of their house, and it's nice. I don't know if I want those bright lights shining into my bedroom at night, but
that would be a lot. They don't live in an HOA.
But I'm fun. I'm fun. I would just put blackout curtains up.
There's more fire.
See, but that's what I mean. So that's the fire that you can tell is part of a decoration. Like, you've got flames shooting up. Yeah, but you've got flames shooting up on the corners. You've got pumpkins and, all that stuff.
For this too?
See,
oh my gosh, the pumpkins.
I love that. I love that. And that's a tasteful use of fire, in my opinion. So I'm not a total Karen, because I think that's really cool. And if I had the time and money and effort, I would.
Yeah, I wonder how much that costs.
Yeah,
I could go for that.
They better be
Brian, we better be
like
seeing that at your house when you get it done. After your drywall, I want to see that.
All right, so I guess leave us some comments. Is this okay?
Yeah, what do you guys think? I don't know. Sierra, you chimed in, but like, what do you guys think? Am I being a Karen over that? Like, that just, to me, that like hurts my heart. I don't know.
Yeah, to me, I love just the effort that had to have taken, but I don't know what that has to do with Halloween, though. I really don't.
No.
I mean, it just looks scary.
Maybe without the smoke.
Right.
And the screams playing in the background.
The screaming and the smoke and the I don't know. I would prefer that. I would drive. If that were in like Toledo,
I would 100%
I would
drive to go
with,
see that.
Yeah, me and my kids, we'd all pile up in the car. We'd go take a look at it. But I would not drive my kids by a house that looked like it was on fire.
And I'd be that's great.
Maybe they're social media influencers and they want to spread.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Not sure. It's fun though. I don't know. It's something different.
Yeah, very impressive.
I'm getting all passionate and sweaty about talking about it. I'm like, but like I said, that whole in my past having family that were volunteer firefighters, that just like makes me tear up. I don't know. Off we go.
I just have a couple pumpkins on my front porch, Carrie, so you don't have to come yell at my house.
Come over and smash them.
Yeah, maybe. Shoo, what are we getting into? Government shutdown?
Yeah.
We'll go from houses on fire to the government on fire, I guess. So
yeah,
which is also scary.
Yeah.
What I think it was October 1st is technically when the government shut down, or sometime the 30th at night. So as far as the real estate side, how does that affect buyers, sellers, mortgage rates, those sorts of things. So we haven't, because obviously we aren't too far in, so we haven't really seen a whole lot of the effects as of yet. However, again, once we would start getting into, weeks, months, however long it may take.
It hasn't seemed to change much yet. I don't feel like.
No,
You
it's
guys
crickets.
I'm like you guys getting that deal done first was probably smart. So. And
I know Bauer had sent out, I don't know if you guys got that email. He doesn't really expect a whole lot of delays as far as like FHA, what do you say, VA, I think just USDA loans for the moment, or where he thought he was going to see a lot of the effects. So again, it's just something to, if you're a real estate agent and you have a buyer utilizing a Govy loan or a loan backed by the government, FHA, USDA, VA, maybe just check with that lender, especially if you're in the process or you're under contract, say, hey, do we foresee any hiccups, or is there anything we can do to try to mitigate some of those hiccups and figure out what path you need to move forward then. So that's, I guess, as far as just keeping an eye on those as far as the agent side. And then as far as mortgage rates then, so typically mortgage rates during government shutdowns, they actually kind of tend to hold steady. They may dip slightly, but they don't go down drastically or go up drastically. A lot of people, a lot of investors seek safer assets in the U.S. Treasury bonds, which is kind of the market the mortgage rates follow. So that's why they can kind of sometimes go down a little bit. So just something to, like I said, just wanted to kind of put a knock on it, so that way everyone, if you're watching, you kind of have a general idea. Just if you're a buyer or a seller, on the seller side, what are some of the
what to expect with that?
What to expect? Again, delays potentially, depending on the buyer, what loan type the buyer's utilizing, and if you're the buyer, check with your lender. Real estate agents check with the lender to make sure there's no hiccups or anything that you can do to kind of help mitigate some of those things. So.
And if you're a seller, your seller's agent, you have to be mindful of that. If your buyer's in that situation, it's not them that the hold up. You have to be patient and remind your sellers to be patient too. Because I think there's some down payment assistance programs that even if you're not one of those loan types.
Because a lot of those sorts of things, your down assistance payments programs. I know on here it said with FHA, USDA, VA, those sorts of things, approvals, verifications, document processing that the lender may require from some of those places. If they're limited staff or shortened staff, it may take a minute to process all of those requests then. So
that was the big thing back in I think I was telling that story here. Is it just you, Carrie? We're talking about that one deal. Is Kelly's cousin was selling their house right by USDA. So deal went on for months, just trying to get it to the finish line as a USDA loan, and then government shutdown happened. This would have been, I don't even know how long. I mean, it went on for a long time. Like I felt like a month or better. Finally, it was already months getting the deal done. Then USDA shut down like the day or two before we closed. God. So then by the time they finally reopened, and I'm trying to keep Ryan's his name here, great dude here. You know what I'm talking about if you're watching this here. He held together like a trooper then. So I'm trying to work him through this whole deal, and then it reopened, and then they had such a backlog that it took another month to finally get there. So
and it's like, what do you do, buyer or seller? You're just in a position of limbo, and that can happen to anybody.
Yeah, right. And if they're already using a USDA loan, it's not like they say, "Oh, you never mind, I'll just pay cash," or I'll just I'll
switch over to conventional.
Yeah, I'll just go conventional.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, it was just a rough go. So hopefully it doesn't turn into that.
Yeah, so just something to keep in mind, especially if, like I said, you're utilizing FHA, USDA, VA. Just check with your lender before, you get too much farther, and just make sure there's nothing, you can do or, holding anything up. So
great topic.
Yeah, that's just hopefully it's over. Hopefully by the time you're hearing this, it's done.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, we're not even into that then too. So, all right, I got a few things I'll try to touch on here quick. Probably if you've been paying attention to real estate or anything in the news here, we've had big or attempted buyout, I guess, between. Oh, of course, my screen is being dumb now. Compass buying out. I lost my notes here then too. I'm just killing us.
Anywhere.
Jason Oppenheimer deal I wanted to talk about then too. I love that then too, but we won't get to that there yet. But anywhere, Compass buying them out, huge acquisition. It's an all stock deal. They could run into regulatory issues with that if they want to kind of look at that to see, if they're too big, I guess. So the bullet points here, then too, anywhere shareholders receiving a ton of Compass stock. Compass assumes $2.6 billion of Anywhere's debt. Compass shareholders will now own 78% of Anywhere. And Anywhere, again, is Century 21, ERA, Better Homes and Garden, Coldwell Banker, Residential and Commercial, the Corcoran Group, and Sotheby's International. I think there's quite a bit of other subsidiaries into title companies, mortgage, insurance, stuff like that then. So it would be combined between Compass, ERA, Coldwell Banker, Century 21, 341,000 agents. So Compass has 40,000, so they're adding over 300,000 with that acquisition then. So some of the talking heads are saying there's just more of a play on the clear cooperation. They're already embattled with NAR as far as for what that looks like. Can they post it? Can they keep their private listings? So is that going to give them a lot of sway, which I feel like it will. If they just suddenly say, you know what, we're out of the NAR, we're done. We don't care what the MLS says or doesn't say. I don't know what that's going to do to our industry. So that could really change. They're looking forward, but it could make us take a big step back in the short term then too. If suddenly, a third of the listings aren't in the MLS, I don't know what we do as agents then as far as, navigating what that looks like. Worry is, are these mega brokerages going to dominate the industry? How will this affect independent brokerages? What's that going to do for the agent splits and things like that? Does that, threaten competition in the MLS? And I love competition. I think anything, having choices, having options, I think always helps drive innovation, helps things, along. But in the short term, could it be a bad thing? All these agents have to adopt. Are they going to have to adopt Compass's systems, technology, things like that? Because we all know agents just love change and love to, adapt new tools and systems. So I don't know what that's going to look like. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, if the SEC, if they run into any regulatory issues or anything like that, as far as for the merger, nobody will really know what that looks like. So I don't know. A lot to come with that here then too. But if you've been living under a rock in the real estate world, maybe you haven't heard that, but a lot happening there. You guys have any thoughts or questions on that? Or
there was an agent in North Carolina that was on social media that was complaining about MLS independence, and she's like, if I pay my MLS dues, and I forget where she was at in Carolina, she's like, why can I not access the MLS data of anywhere in North Carolina or South Carolina, whichever Carolina she was? I think it was North. She's like, it doesn't make sense to me that I'm a licensed agent and I did my state test and I did everything and I can't access something that's an hour and a half away because I'm not in their MLS.
Right.
And I'm like, girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It's stupid. Yeah. So I think a lot of that needs to change, and that's all. We've talked about that before. Just it depends on what market you're in, and the MLS is just they want to keep that control. They don't want to lose their job.
And I think it's hard for us because we're on the line of multiple MLSs.
Right.
So if you are smack dead in the middle of one MLS, that makes sense for you because you're not going to go 2 hours away for a showing. But if you're like in the line of all of these other MLSs, you're kind of forced to partake in all of them so that you can get in your 1 hour, 2 hour radius.
Absolutely.
Out of town agents that have family somewhere and they come from farther to list a house.
Yeah.
And then
even if it's an hour and 25 minutes, hour and 45.
Yeah. It's disadvantage to the sellers who their agent that they want to use because it's aunt, uncle, niece, whoever. But they aren't a part of that local area MLS. And then with the same, then your buyers are texting you being like, oh, what's this house about? And you're like, I don't even know.
Didn't
like,
show up on my radar.
Yeah.
Which goes back to, I guess, just use Zillow, right? I just just who needs the MLS? You have Zillow, I guess. So Okay, so real quick. So I just looked at interest rates then too. It looks like everyone's been waiting for them to come down here. I don't see that
Didn't
coming
they
down
inch
here.
up just a hair?
Yeah, they went down,
like,
then
down
pop
and
right back up then for the most part. So here, okay, so Rome, we talked about teased this a little bit last week then. So if you guys could just go shop like your Amazon shopping for shoes or whatever your girls buy, what do you guys buy on Amazon? Not houses, but maybe that's coming here soon
wigs.
too.
I might wear mine next week.
So with Rome.com, I'm not advocating for this. I don't know anything about it here. Chris Smith just tweeted it, put it on X. So I thought it was interesting. So their hook is pre-negotiated deals. You buy a home, basically they have a sticker price, and most of them have some type of assumable loan. So they just kind of crunch it all together here. I'll just read what.
Are you allowed to do showings and still be able to go look at the house?
I'm assuming probably. So
it's like giving me Carvana vibes.
Yeah.
You just like go online, you find
or
a
is there
car.
like hey, after if you don't like it within 14 days, you can return it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the return policy is. So yeah, Chris Smith, but got the real estate got an instant buy button. Pre-approved, pre-negotiated, lender-cleared 45-day close. For buyers, no bidding wars, no waiting, no surprise. For sellers, faster close, qualified buyers, premium exposure. Agents, this means less deals falling out, quicker transactions, and a new way to market a listing. Friction gone, speed, certainty, stay, and it goes on and on. You go to Rome's X post here, then sellers want certainty and speed. Buyers want great rates and cheaper payments without friction. Buy now equals pre-negotiated price, verified 45-day close, partnered with lenders and seller. So yeah,
So who's partnering what?
Yeah, right. And then my thing is, are they doing they're doing the home inspection before they sell, and they're taking care of all of the major issues with the house before it hits the market. I don't know.
Are you as the buyer just having to use the lender that they are utilizing?
I don't know.
Probably,
I'm sure
and
that's
at a higher rate.
Yeah,
because
probably.
you're
Right.
So if you go onto their site then too,
it's non-negotiable.
Yeah, you basically see that. So okay, so remind me of that. That's what I want to come. I want to come back to that then, as far as what that looked like. So if you look at their website, you see now. Okay, I can buy this. I don't even know what this is. Cleveland, Ohio. $400,000. 2.875% interest rate.
Hot damn.
$27.19 a month. Here, Clarksville,
so wait,
Tennessee.
Are these private
that
investors?
That almost would have to be like an assumable.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh,
so
it's
it's an assumable loan. So here, this guy's got a 2.25% rate. Then, so he's selling that. So you're making up the difference. So I don't think I have the website open anymore. I did last week, and I think I lost it here.
Making up the difference, meaning
So here, let's see if I can pull it up.
You're basically financing the equity then?
Yeah, you had to have so much down. It's like anything. The devil's in the details.
Sure.
But
inquiring minds want to know. Maybe I want to sell my house.
So you need to make up the difference. So say they have a $200,000 mortgage on the property yet. You can assume it for 2.5%, but then you have to make up the remaining $200,000 somehow. You then need to come up with cash. You need to get a second loan. And the rate here, sell with Rome. Maybe that was
makes
it
sense.
Here. Maybe no, it was on the buy side. I need to find. But the rates on the buy side.
Put your info in there.
I already did. So I will tell you that they do have a great capture page then
we get
too,
your
because
driver's license
it asks for all kinds of stuff then too. It went to are you working with an agent? Do you have a mortgage? Are you working with a title company? It really puts you through it then. Let me see for buyers. I can pull this up. You can see what it looks like. So if I want to look, I'm in the wrong spot here.
So would you say if it's too good to be true, it probably is?
No, I don't know.
Do you really
I don't know.
Because I can see where this would be very beneficial for somebody who's in a quick relocation. I need to move for work, and I don't have a relocation package, but I need to get there now and just buy sight unseen.
Also, there's nothing in our zip code here. Let's go. Let's just do Ohio.
I feel like
for goodness sake,
if they have Columbus, they should have like Cleveland.
Yeah, there was a lot. There actually was. When I pulled up, there was quite a bit in Ohio then. Whether these are all that deal or not, but
you
know
what
I mean?
North of Marion for $285,000.
Yeah, there
let's
we go.
check it out.
That's close.
Bucyrus.
There you go.
Well,
somebody's
that's
on
pretty.
it. So for $285, so they're saying, okay, you can get this $1,700 a month deal then, but if you kind of go down here and say down payment, you have to do at least, I think it's 5%, which isn't that big a deal, I guess. A lot of times you're borrowing. So you see this gap financing at 11.125%. That's not real tasty, but I guess if you mix
that says VA loan, so you have to be a veteran.
So the VA, I don't know if this would work. And I'm not 100% sure if, like, not being a vet, if I could assume that loan. I don't.
Probably not. You'd probably have to be a vet.
Probably, but there are other assumable loans then. So that's great, 4% on that. But then the remaining, what are we at here? Actually, that's not too bad one. That one's not too far off. But some of them were hundreds of thousands of dollars in difference at this not so attractive rate then for there. But I don't know that you have to use that rate. I don't know if you could go to another. Okay, fine. I'll assume this, and I'll just pay the difference. I'll go to my lender and get a different rate for the difference. But that assumes that they want you to work with another.
So it's like those properties actually listed with an agent?
I don't know. Not sure.
It says,
there's an MLS.
Source, Columbus.
So maybe.
Right there.
Columbus Ohio listing then. So
Rome is the lister, or there's like an actual like.
Well, maybe this is just a second option to doing that here. Then let's
so it's like
let's pull it
it's
up.
on
See what
eBay,
pops
but
up
it's
here.
also on
Realtor.com.
Yeah.
Yes, Les, yeah, that's what it is listed then. So you could buy it traditionally or throw it into this.
So is Rome partnered with this seller, or did they just grab that information?
No, I can't imagine they would just throw that out there. I mean, there's no way they're just grabbing it.
I feel like the agent or the seller would have to approve.
Yeah, somebody's got to go get involved with that. Then there's no way they're just going.
I know, but they.
If they were just scraping information, throwing it out there, then every listing would probably be on there then too. That would be.
I don't want to say give it time, but like.
No, I can't imagine they're just going for that.
MLSs?
So check your VA loan eligibility.
What's that down at the bottom? It says listing 1 and for sale listing 2. Is that like a secondary MLS?
It's multiple MLSs then.
Okay,
so,
okay, so this is Mansfield, so they must be a part of Columbus.
It's a cute house though.
Right.
Look, that kitchen's cute.
So let's go to one that's maybe a little more pricey. I thought that was.
Oh yeah. Anything on Olentangy River Road?
Right. Yeah, probably. Let's say there's a lot of Cincinnati, a lot of Columbus.
There's a 700 up there.
I was going to say
800.
Let's see what that one looks like. Well, there you go. Looks like a nice place.
Yeah.
So this gap isn't as bad. So you're at 8.
I wonder if like it goes down based on the
down payment.
Could
yeah,
be.
because look, the down payment's $160.
So let's just say I want to put like 10 grand down. Well, let me do that. Recalculate at that.
Yeah.
So yeah, again, 10%.
So the smaller your down payment,
maybe
the higher the.
I can see where that could make sense for people, even more so at a higher cost because.
Yeah, it just comes. The devil's in the details. Does the math work out? Does it make sense? I guess, and it gives you another venue to possibly sell your home. So
and then could you pay off that second mortgage fast? I mean, could you get that?
I'm sure. Yeah, I can't imagine they have any kind of early payoff or anything like that, but. That's fun. I don't know. Something different. Another way to angle it here. We've already been running long here. I'll just run through this here real quick here. I got my little notepad here. Quick PowerPoint. Bear with me. Keeping Current Matters. They have some great info. So I guess the reason I wanted to pull this up, everyone's waiting for rates to come down. Everyone's waiting for everything to kind of unthaw and just real estate to start rocking and rolling. Why have rates not come down? They just recently did. They had like an hour-long presentation I sat through here for you, so you don't have to. They initially dropped rates because job growth they feel like has stalled out over the last 4 to 5 years here. They're looking at the market trends. Why people basically aren't moving is what they're coming to is nearly 2 in 3 Americans think a recession is coming. 74% of Americans admit that the world news and or current events affect their financial decisions. So if you're doing nothing but watching Fox and CNN, everything like that, the whole world's over. But I mean, that's any time. I feel like the world's falling apart then if you're listening to them. But if you're talking to a seller, why aren't people moving? Why is things not happening? I think it's just part of it. It's just that the news cycle is not favorable for that. Number 9, here we go then too. So the Fed's in a tough spot. Some argue, I don't have to read it to you here then too, but most likely they're just looking to stabilize the labor rates, things like that. So that's why they're going to cut. Who knows how much they're going to cut from there? Nobody has a crystal ball. Again, if jobs keep stalling or if they start losing jobs, I think will cut more aggressively. And we'll come down to here then too. So rates. Everybody's waiting on rates to drop. So here's a predictions. Fannie, Wells Fargo, there was quite a few that they put in this. This is an average of 3. So Q4 2025, they're thinking the average is 6.5, which as of right now, we're at 6.38 on average. So we're not too far off from that. But again, if you think rates are going to drop, we get into quarter 1 of next year, which is the first 3 months of the year. Again, it drops by a tenth of a point. We go into quarter 2. We're all the way in the middle of next year, midsummer here. 6.4 is a prediction. So
just buy. If you're looking now and you want to buy now, just buy now. You're not going to save enough money for it to be worth of it.
I'm glad you said that, because we're going to go into more slides here. I'll tell you exactly why I think that's a great idea then. So if you come down here to number 20, where'd it go? Decades of downturn. This is just talking basically prices do bounce back. Median sales price, again, if you're waiting to buy, if you're waiting for those rates to drop 0.1%, while prices just continue to climb. There's some, some consolidation, it continues upwards. 24, again, the sales always bounce back. Let's say the prices do drop. This is during the last several recessions or slowdowns. Prices and the amount of transactions. That's what we're at right now. Record low amount of transactions. We've all done okay. We'd like to sell a lot more, but I feel bad for the agents that have sold nothing or a home. It's tough. I don't know how you would get through that. Again, this kind of went on the rates. I'll pop down here to 25. So Carrie, to your point then too. So what are prices going to look like all the way out through, they're predicting through 2029. So 2025 through 2029. So the most optimistic has it going up 27%, the kind of the panel wide 17%, and the most pessimistic, like the worst case scenario, they're looking at almost a 7% increase in pricing over the next several years. So if you're waiting for that 0.1% in interest rates or whatever that is, it's not going back down to, nobody has a crystal ball, but it's not going to 4. It's not going to 3. It's not going to 2 anytime soon. Or are you just going to wait for those prices just to keep exponentially growing? So there's an hour and 20-minute thing broke down in about 3 minutes. So I don't know what the best takeaway is other than, it's, I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like I say the same story over and over and over to buyers and sellers both. Date the rate, marry the house kind of thing. Then you get into the house.
If you have to move,
Yeah.
Everybody's situation is different, and we can't, twist somebody's arm and tell them to sell their house or to move. But if life is taking you by the hand and directing you where to go, then you figure out what your next move is. And
you're
if
not
it's
making a bad decision by doing that right now, because nothing's going to change majorly.
As long as you don't buy, we were talking about ROI, as long as you don't buy a house that's way overpriced and everything needs done, you're going to be fine.
Yeah.
You're going to be fine.
Yeah, I just don't know how it...
Trust the process.
Yeah. And if you look at that, so we go 50 years of house prices, just like the stock market. This person here was like, oh man, I shouldn't buy. I'm waiting for this house prices to go. Then the same thing over and over and over and over. And this is showing every recession, every dip. And you just see it just continues to keep going up.
And so what? It dips. So then you just stay there longer than you have to. That's what our parents did.
Right.
Maybe they were trying to just be in a starter home and they were there 10 years.
Sure.
I was in my starter home 12 years because we were in the 08 recession time.
Right.
So we just hung out and kept making repairs and updates. And
I think that's a big thing too. And this kind of plays into consumerism nowadays. But for everyone, not everyone, I feel like a lot of people look at it as, this is going to be my starter home. Then I need a middle home. Then I need
stop with
maybe
that.
one more. And then a forever home, whatever. It is very common for people to stay in their houses for a long time too. And that's okay.
It's okay.
And ultimately, you probably, if you're taking care of a house that you are in for a longer period of time, unless you have something like a few years ago when COVID happened and everything sold for $1 million. But generally speaking, if you're taking care of something and maintaining it over time, you're going to get a better return on investment, especially because
equity.
Mortgages are not free. Closing on a home is not free. All of those costs that go into the moving and over and over again. And you don't have to necessarily have a different house for every aspect of your life unless your life necessitates that.
Correct.
You know, people outgrow their houses. That happens
every day.
And that's fine. But if you don't have to move, you don't have to move, you can stick around for a while.
And
I'd rather people buy and sell houses, a couple times a year. That's the industry we're in. We buy and sell all the time, right?
But I have that burnt toast theory. Did you guys see that? I posted on social media, and it's like, if you burn your toast and you're running a few minutes late, you were redirected by fate, destiny, whatever.
Sure.
So if you're supposed to stay in your house a few years,
maybe that's what you should do.
Listen, we were supposed to buy our first house. We didn't close on it. It was like a whole 9-month process. I was bitching and just chewing people out left and right. We didn't get that house, and we ended up having 3 more kids. So we ended up with 5 kids, and we would have been in a 2 to 3 bedroom square box. It was
that would have been tough.
And then the house that we ended up moving into became a 5 bedroom. So it's like, trust the process. Trust what's happening because you don't know what the bigger picture is.
Absolutely.
So I 100% agree with that.
Well, yeah, I don't know what the right answer is. Do what's right for you. I think you hit it right then too. I think you just need to do what fits your family and your lifestyle and I don't know, everybody needs it seems like everybody wanted to skip that starter house for a long time then too. I mean, maybe that's what they need to go back to instead of going straight to the, house you're at 15 years, maybe start with the starter house then too. Build some equity, sell that.
And parents and grandparents didn't start with a 3,000 square foot brick ranch on the hill.
I think that's big too. I mean, a lot of times if you get approved for a loan, they're going to tell you at most what you can afford, not counting your groceries, your utilities, all this kind of stuff.
They're supposed to take that into account.
Right.
But
But it's not always the case. So then you kind of maybe bypass that starter home and then you're really in over your head and whatever. But I mean, it really just depends on what works for you and it's different for everybody.
All right. And then last good news here then too.
Oh, yes. We talked about that briefly.
Massachusetts broker arrested, accused of embezzling $11.6 million. Now, you guys tell me if I could get away with this, I guess. Former Success real estate broker owned by Stephen D. Webster, you're a bad guy apparently, has been indicted for allegedly embezzling almost $12 million and nearly $500,000 in unpaid commissions to agents. So I don't know how that. So if I'm like Brian, I'm a little late on that commission you just earned there. Float me a couple months in. Like how long do you guys go to where you're like, dude, where's my check at? Like to
3
where
days?
I accumulate $500,000 in.
It's not even us, actually. It's Tara.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
If Tara's not paying us in 20 minutes, there's a problem.
Yeah, there's a problem with that then too. So I kind of read through it. Most of it's just he was doing bad things and not doing what he's supposed to be doing. So don't do that. I guess that goes for any business.
They must be making some really big transactions for $11.6 million.
Yeah, I'm not sure what all happened from that then, but I think it was kind of a bank fraud deal and stuff like that. But
okay, so $500K was unpaid commissions.
That was just the commissions.
So not 11.6 total. Yeah,
correct. But still, I feel bad for those poor agents. I'm sure. I'm guarantee. If
they
you're in that,
money.
Brian, you're not getting, and they aren't getting it anytime soon either. They might eventually get it, but it's not going to be for months or years by the time this all gets settled out then too. So
that's crazy.
Stephen D. Webster, you're apparently a bad dude. So don't be like Stephen. Do the right thing. Get your agents paid. I don't know what the deal is with that, but I just that was too good to, I guess, not talk about. That's bad behavior. So
just
yeah, right. So I guess we'll leave it there. I guess a lot of stuff there to kind of cover then. So the ROI, I love that, Sierra. As far as for what people could or couldn't buy at this point here, I don't know. I don't know what to tell people. I really don't. I feel like a broken record as far as is now the right time is not. Sellers' prices are coming down. It's just the reality of what the world is right now. So changes. It's always going to keep changing. So I don't know. You guys got anything else? We talked plenty long. I don't have kids to go pick up, so I can keep rambling all day.
No, I just want to know. Yeah, that's right. I just want to know what we're going to dress up as for Halloween. It's been weighing on my mind. We're a couple episodes away.
Episodes from that then too. So I got to figure out how to get my house to look like it's on fire because
no way.
Or the light show. Somebody knows how to do those light shows.
No, listen, be careful what you wish for because Noah, I know he has a good time.
Yes, he does. He takes after his dad. So we'll save that story for another time. All right, that's episode, I think, 56. I'm screwed up now. We'll see you on the next one. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we will see you then. Where is...
I probably shouldn't.
Fade the black.
I probably shouldn't have said Noah's name on there. I didn't think about that. If you want to edit that out, that's okay.
I don't care at all.
I know, but maybe Kelly don't want your family name out there.
She'll be fine.
I've thought about that.